King, you in the game, man.
My name is Static Selector. I'm a dickhead when it comes to hearing artists I've never heard of before. But when I heard him, and I'm the biggest critic of hip-hop got, I was like, dude's dope, and we started working together.
Miller on the run up ahead to Williams. He gets behind Austin, and reverse lay in, and the trailer fouls him. Beautiful play by Reggie Williams. Gets it into Williams, catch and shoot. 3, 4 for 4 for Reggie Williams.
A link out to Reggie Williams with authority.
Yo, welcome to Synonymous.
Yo, so welcome to Synonymous podcast. Today we got another special guest. This is my homie, good friend of mine, amazing musician. You know, one of my main partners in this music stuff. He's a writer. He came out with a book. I think he's working on another one. He's a social influencer, I would say. And he is a musician's musician. Definitely has his own sound. So ladies and gentlemen, give the drummer some. Proud to say my drummer, Wes Watkins. Welcome him to the show.
What's going on, man?
Welcome, man. Thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate you. Definitely, you were on the list of people that had to get on right away. You got a great story. You my homie. So yeah, man. Welcome.
Pleasure.
So thank you, man. So what I want to do is I want to get you to kind of tell your backstory, but before we do that, I kind of want to give our listeners that may not know how you and I linked up. A lot of times my fans don't know that whole story. They just say, how'd you start, playing with a band and, they want to know. So I'm going to give the little backstory about how Wes and I got together and started doing music. So basically in like 2014, 2013, I started doing all my live shows with a DJ drummer. I was like, that's going to be it. That's, I just love the dynamic and the energy of that. So I had this drummer that was my guy for all of my shows, no matter where I was going, where I was traveling on the East Coast. He was there. His name was Vernon Strayhorn. Shout out to Vernon.
Yep.
So Vernon is from the Anne Arundel, Maryland area, and so is Wes. When Vernon, around 2015, I think, Vernon was like, all right, I'm going out to Atlanta, to seek other opportunities, try to elevate his career. And I was like, yo, you can't leave me like that, man. Like at that point, we had built up a great chemistry on and off the stage. And it was just like, we barely even had to like rehearse anymore. He knew the music and stuff. And it was like that. He was like, don't worry about it, man. I got you. Like I got a bunch of guys. So he hooked me up with like 3 other drummers. And a side note, for whatever reason, Wes, you can maybe speak to this, but in that Anne Arundel and like surrounding counties in Maryland, there's something in the water. Like just crazy musicians and specifically drummers. Like there's, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the go-go influence. What is that, Wes? Why is there?
Nah, it's like a core of us that just grew up in this area and just it's not even so much the go-go influence. It's just like what we grew up around. So it's like Anne Arundel County, I don't think people understand that there used to be a lot of artists that used to come back out here back in the day, gospel, hip hop, whatever, at those shows. So it's like when you're growing up in that industry, and not even so much that industry, but when you're just growing up around that, you just take on certain things. So it's like, a lot of us had the church side, but a lot of us had the hip hop side. Then someone's got the go-go side because we were in all of these different genres that has us surrounded. You feel what I'm saying?
Thanks.
So then when you have your core people, it's only like a few people from out here in Anne Arundel County that I would ever call to do anything for me. So it's like everybody has their own individual sound, but it's like I could call a Vernon, I could call my man Lamont, or I could call my cousin Eb, I could call, you know what I'm saying? Just certain people I know I could just call and be like, hey, I need you to take care of A, B, and C, and they got it done.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
And that's why Vernon he wasn't worried about me. He's like, don't worry. I'm gonna leave you in good hands. And so he threw me to Wes, Lamont, somebody else. But shortly after he left, I had two shows kind of back to back. So one was with Lamont. We were headlining the Rock and Roll Hotel, I think, and he did that. And we have multiple. Were you there? You remember that show?
Yeah,
no.
the first few shows you hit me for, I couldn't do because I was on tour.
Right.
And so every date that you had, I was literally doing 2 tours at once. So like every date you had for like the first like 3 dates, I was like, "No, I got you covered." Like that's why I got Lamar, whatever. But it just, we was like, "Yo, we gonna get it together one of these days." We gonna end up playing, but it's like I got the gig, but I couldn't make the gig.
Right. So yeah, so Lamont held me down for that first show, and it was like, you know, we had multiple rehearsals. It was about, you know, it was an hour set, you know, so it was a lot of music for him to learn, and he came in there and slapped, bro. It was
and
dope.
had that joint on lock.
He did.
Yeah.
And then you and I, finally you were available for a date. So we did the Baltimore Soundstage. I think that was the first show that we did together. And like he said, he was on tour, right? So I think he was out in Haiti or something with the Fabulous Fabulous.
Wow.
And so Wes
the Haiti drink. The Haiti drink was with Curl and Malachi.
Okay.
Yeah. I was with the Thunderbirds like the first few dates you had hit me for when Lamont first played. That's what that was.
So this dude was like all over the place, out of the U.S. and whatever. He was just coming and doing spot dates as he could, but he was all over the place. So we had it was our first rehearsal. We had one rehearsal. It was quick. It was good. But so then, like, he was in Haiti for like 10 days or whatever. I don't know. He was out of
I ask you real quick. How do you end up in Haiti, and how do you rock out in Haiti? Because you don't hear about people performing in Haiti. Like, I never hear about people performing in Haiti. How do you end up in Haiti?
Yeah. So the music, what's the joint called? Music Abroad. They were what they do, and they still do it now. It's like a job application, so much, however you want to say it. But basically, you apply for the joint to perform. They put you on a tour. And so one of the artists I was playing for, her name Carolyn Malachi, we had actually did, Haiti was the first joint we did. Then we ended up doing St. Lucia, Barbados, Grenada, and like a few other joints. You know what I'm saying? So it's like basically, you apply for the joint time, you want to perform, they come, they hold auditions, and then if they like you, they put you on the tour, everything paid for, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a lot of different artists from like the DMV area that's done it. You know what I mean?
How was the energy in Haiti?
Dog, the Haiti drink was crazy. Like, when we got there, they was like, you know, we first landed, it's a whole different world. That's number one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, yeah, that's why I'm so intrigued by it, because it's just, everything I've seen, you know, it's a lot of poverty, and it's a little different.
It is, but it got its spots where it's like, oh shoot, like ain't no poverty over here. You know what I'm saying? It has its areas. Okay. So the crazy thing is, remember when that earthquake had hit in Haiti like some years ago?
Yeah.
We came there like a little bit after. So outside of us performing, they had us going to different schools, speaking to kids. Like, the schools over there is crazy, man. Like, seeing how people had to rebuild their homes on the mountains, like with the earthquake hitting everything. Like, they're literally building their houses on the mountain, walking down the joint, dog. Crazy. Like, to hear stories of people like, man, kids got to walk literally 5 hours to school. Not like walk to school 5 hours just to get to school. Like, we spoke at a college where they're only allowed to accept 50 people a year. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like when you go into a spot like that and you see people who don't have as much, who don't have what you have, but their energy is on 1,000, it gives you a whole new respect for life. Yeah. So when we went over there to perform, the first performance we did was outside, and it was over 35,000 people.
Wow.
Like, people got on top of their houses to watch the concert. Like, it was literally like something you see on TV. Like, it was so many people you couldn't even see far back anymore. Like,
It's like being
it
at
was
Rucker Park in the 70s.
dog.
People were sitting on top of your apartment buildings to watch like
That's
Dr.
crazy,
J.
bro.
Dog, that joint was
Probably how they
ridiculous.
felt. They're like, these American musicians over here. Like, this is awesome.
And that's the thing. And so it was dope because the artist we playing for, Carolyn Malachi, like, we're playing for her, but to have my band Got My Own Sound name up there with her, it made it even more special. So to be able to go into schools and stuff and speak to kids, and they're saying Got My Own Sound and all this stuff, it was crazy, man. It was a dope experience. So it's like I said, they still do that. Like it's been, like I said, it's been a lot of different artists and bands from the DMV area that do it and still do it. You know what I mean? So yeah,
that's dope. So yeah, so needless to say, around that time, Wes's hands were full, very like he was touring, always on the road. So he came back and like I said, we had that one rehearsal that was probably 10 days before the show. So he came right off the plane, landed, and then did the gig with me. It was good, but it was like Lamont, the show we did with Lamont, I was like, Lamont gonna be my guy. And it's funny, yo. No, but that's just how it was. Those first two shows, I told Vernon, I was like, yeah. He was like, how was the show and stuff? I was like, it was dope. It was dope. But I think Lamont's gonna be, it's gonna fit in. And Vernon said, no disrespect to Lamont, but Wes on another level. You just ain't seen it yet. He was like, just wait. And like I don't remember what the next show was after that, but there was a moment in the show where you was just locked in, and then you hit.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't know, but you hit some solo, and you was just tight that you had time to prepare. Like you weren't coming straight off a plane. And I was like, I saw that second gear, and I was like, oh,
this is my guy.
this is what Vernon was telling me about. And so, so like after that, we clicked, and like I don't, there's a lot. I have access to other drummers, but I really don't want to play with nobody but Wes, because you get used to certain things.
Set the standard, the bar set high
for sure. And so so then we started doing shows together, and then he kind of brought me into to his thing, which was which is the Got My Own Sound band. And so if I'm doing a show, he's backing me, and then Got My Own Sound, we all in it together. And it's been a dope ride. So that's kind of a little bit of the backstory of how we got to working together.
Man. Man, it's funny. I just had the joint pop up on my Instagram memories. It said, I think it was like 2 days ago, 4 years ago was that first show. Like that joint literally just popped up. It was in Baltimore at
the sound stage.
Yep. That joint literally just popped up on my memory a few days ago.
Yeah, I had a girl send me a little video, like a Snapchat from that show.
That's right.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
4 years ago. So same thing. Yeah, so that's kind of where it started, and now we still going. I'm just hoping that this stuff breaks soon so we can get back on the stage, man. Because I know you miss it. I mean, Wes, for y'all that don't know me, I'm sure you've probably gathered it from the conversation so far, but he is a full-time musician. So, you talk about this quarantine affecting musicians, like, and this whole pandemic. It's tough, you gotta get creative. And I mean, we're all just itching to get back on stage.
Since you've been a full-time musician and whatnot, with the quarantine, with the virus and us being on quarantine, have you been able to take advantage of your talents by using the IG Live and going on live and playing your instrument and all of that?
Yeah, so the thing is, like, I think like when it first happened, we was like, man, let's do a joint. We did a joint. I did one live joint at my man's studio. And I do so much on Instagram and stuff already that honestly, I didn't want to. So it's like, the thing is, like, I'm a full-time musician, but I got backgrounds and other stuff. So what I've been doing is I've been getting money through doing my computer graphics. I used to do
Yeah.
computer graphics for years, social media. So I've been cool on that end, still getting a few other checks, and because I'm still doing studio sessions and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I haven't really been wanting so much to do the IG and Facebook lives because the thing is, you're fighting with 1,000,001 people who trying to go live and do the joint. So then it's like, I gotta make sure I wait. Is this a good time to do it or
Right, prime
you know what I'm
time.
saying?
Yeah, find prime time hours.
Yeah. And then you got every celeb doing it too because everybody, because they're hurt trying to get money. So honestly, I just been like, man, let me just focus on I have finished getting this second book together, finishing up this new album. That's been my thing. I ain't even been tripping off on it because thankfully I've been blessed, you know what I'm saying, that I don't have to do it. But the thing is, like, do I miss it? I do, but I think when somebody's been gone, or somebody's been going and doing as much as I've been doing for the last few years, like even outside of the road. So just like Kane was saying, I would literally fly from off the road and come straight back into work. And then I'm a full-time father. I got my kids doing today. So there is no
no break time for you.
No. So at first it was like, man, I'm blown. But then I was like, since I think this is the first time when the joint happened in March, right? The shutdown, like the second week of March.
Like early March.
Mm-hmm.
So that first week, that was the first time in 10 years that I had never worked a weekend.
So this quarantine actually has benefited you. So you got time to sit down, relax, take a step back.
Man, what? Like, because like I said, I'm usually flying, touring, come home, work. Got the kids. After I film the kids, I go straight back to work. Like, I don't even have really a chance to practice. So like when people see me, and then I got to make sure I'm keeping up with the IG videos, making sure I'm doing them joints every day, so my fans and people support me can see me being consistent. Because if you start losing people's support, so it's like this has been. I ain't gonna front. This has been some of the best time.
Yeah, I can dig that because we're Wes, like just working with him, seeing he is like one of the hardest working musicians or just whatever. It was the hardest working people that I know. I mean, we would do a show that would end at 10, 11. Then he would get in his car, drive up to, this was in DC, he'd go out somewhere out in Maryland, do a joint till 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, sleep in his car. So if he couldn't make it, get up, go and play at church at like 8, 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then all day playing in churches. And then maybe get a little rest the next day, but it's just one gig to the next. And so,
That's why I say I tell people like, man, like especially I have a lot of drummers I run into, especially a lot of young, like, man, I want to do what you're doing. I love what
you sure?
It's like, it's like I try to explain to people, like, don't ask for the success if you don't want the process. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, don't let the Instagram, the pictures and the videos fool you. Like, dog, I be going, like, I usually play prior to this quarantine. I usually play 5 to 6 nights a week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I said, my off days will be the daytime, but during the daytime, I got my kids.
See, like, I don't know if like me, I play basketball.
Yeah.
So what you explaining is something similar like we say in the basketball world, which I'm sure you heard, but like we'll say everybody want to be a basketball player, so it's time to be a basketball player.
Yeah.
So like people asking you, I want to do what you do, I want to be a drummer, but they don't know the work you put in to get to the point you at now. And I try to explain to people, you see basketball players on TV and you like, I want to do that. But you don't see the behind the scenes. You don't see the 2 days. You don't see the running, the weights, the mental strain it puts on you. Like, so I can relate in that aspect. Like, it's just synonymous,
It's synonymous.
But no, I can relate. Like, I get it. Like, everybody wants to be where you are and at that level, but they don't realize that you start here to get
and then you, yep.
Big facts. Yeah. Going back to the social media stuff, I want to talk a little bit about that because I think you're somebody who does it right. You know, you use social media the right way. You're very consistent. You've been able to build up a big following and fan base from social media. You've made a lot of connections, and a lot of business and music relationships from your presence on social media. So I was actually surprised to hear your stance on that you didn't, that you're kind of against the doing the Instagram lives, but it makes sense because
but it's my bad. I mean, cut you off, but it's not that I'm against it. It's just the thing is right now, and even like the majority of everybody in the band, money wise, everybody's good.
Right.
So it's like my thing is a lot of people are taking to IG to do it because you gotta think a lot of other industry artists make their money off of what? Touring. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So we don't know how long it's gonna last. So if you don't have that coming in, I get it. And depending on what you're used to and how you're used to living, you feel what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like my thing is, if it's not a need, then I don't need to go extra. I'd rather put my focus somewhere else.
Right.
Like, the money's not a need for me right now, so I don't need to. Because it honestly, it'd be too much too. And then when, hey, I got to make sure your schedule's good. Hey, can you make this joint? Can you do this? Because the first one we did, man, that joint took us, and I just had half the band with that joint. And it trying to get everybody together because everybody still be moving even though we quarantine.
Yeah.
Is, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, nah, like if I don't have to, then honestly, I'm cool because like I said, my focus somewhere else. I'm not against it though, but it's just right now, I don't have to, thank God. And I pray I don't have to, and I hope we get back to what we get back to. But yeah.
I share similar feelings on that as well. I also don't want to water it down because like you said, everybody's doing it. So I've tried to do like the freestyles and stuff. But only do the Instagram live stuff. Like we just started doing these little sample battles. Right. But I do want to do a live joint just because I miss it, just because I want to, not because I need to, and for the fans, because that's another thing that we were talking about is giving people some entertainment and some kind of like value during this time. And I really think people do appreciate that. But
I forgot, you know what? I did it twice. You just reminded me.
Yeah, because your first one, it was just drum, you and Lamar, right?
Yeah. The first one was the band. The second one was just the drums.
Yeah, that one was dope.
Yeah.
The production value was solid. Like Lamar.
That was, but it like I said, it'd be a lot of work going into it, just for that, 45 minutes.
Right.
Like, man, me and that dude, and like I said, it's just behind the scenes stuff. It's nothing different from the normal stage. And like you said, like, yeah, people need entertainment, but it's just like, man, I gotta be in the correct headspace, and everybody around me gotta be in the correct headspace to do that joint. Cause I don't want to half-tail it. Like, we gonna do a live joint, this joint better be fire.
Right.
Everybody and their mother, cause it's like now all eyes will really be on you because everybody at home. So you can't, because I done seen some live joints bomb. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't take time to make sure that the sound is coming directly through the phone, or make sure this, you can't hear that, or this is like, nah, I don't want to be caught slipping like that.
Right.
I want that joint on 1,000. You feel what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Right, but it's also your brand and a reflection of you.
Yeah.
So at the same time, you want your quality to be A1 versus
you
just throwing something together.
And that's why I haven't done it either, because I've seen some shitty ones where it's like the sound. I want the sound to be right. I want it to look as best as possible. I don't want to just be on the couch,
Yeah.
Speakers playing in the background. I want it to be lined in, sounding crisp.
I feel you.
So
I feel you. I agree.
Yeah, that's why I haven't done one yet, but we may have to talk after this. I already put the bug in Lamar's ear last week, but back to social media. Tell us a little bit like how you approach it and how you built that following, because I'm sure a lot of up and coming musicians can look to somebody like you to be like, how can I maximize this? Because that is kind of the key for artists, like that's your outlet that you always have. So how did you approach it? And
I think it was 2018. right when I started back going on tour, the Thunderbirds. And so I took a social media break because I was just like, sometimes like we have great tools. Like I tell people, we have some of the greatest tools in front of us at times, but we're so careless in how we use it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, for me, social media is a tool. This is how I can build connections. This is how I can build business relationships and everything else. So like, if I'm not using it the correct way, then what's the point? Now, it's cool for fun and stuff like that, but me personally, I don't need 1,000,001 new friends. Like, I need to make sure that I got a goal. Like, it has to be something. I have to answer my why, put it like that. Mm-hmm. So I was like, when I took my social media break for a month, I was like, okay, when I come back, I have to start, instead of posting random stuff, I got to really start posting about my brand, about myself, doing this, doing that. So I took a month break, and while I was on tour, I was getting footage, getting pictures, stuff like that. So when I came on, started posting, whatever. So then I was like, all right, that's not enough. I like what I want. I said, man, it's Saving Symbols. I want that endorsement. Saving Symbols is one of the best dope symbol companies in the world, in my opinion. So I'm like, all right, let me put my focus on them. I start posting joints, tagging them, da-da-da-da-da. They caught wind of me, started posting videos. Okay, one joint went viral. They snagged another joint, that joint go viral. Okay, cool. So now I'm like, now I got them on my, in my rear view, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, they rocking with me, cool. So now I'm like, how can I get the celebs, the artists to notice me? Because the thing is, like, it's not even just to notice. It's like, I need people to put me in a position where I can bring other people into my world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not so much, I'm not tripping off for trying to be known, but it's like, how can I get them to help me get to a place where I need to be? Right. And the first joint that took off was Lil Duval. Which one did I did? He did a joint with Ty Dolla $ign, Pull Up. Mm-hmm. And I did the joint, tagged him, and I literally said when I tested, man, he gonna repost this joint. I don't know why. I was just in that mode. Next thing I know, I wake up the next morning, Ben reposted the joint, and from there, it just went. And so I think the majority, like almost every single video I posted last year, for the most part, got reposted by like somebody in the industry, from Lil Duval to Rhapsody, Concept Michelle, Masego,
BJ the Chicago Kid,
Jenna. Then when you start getting them in your inbox, like, hey, can you do this joint for me? Can you do this? Yeah. And then it was able to move from there to like, dog, I got some records I'd like for you to work on. And I'm like, that's what I wanted. It's not even so much of trying to play for the artist. Like, I want to be in a position where I can call that artist and be like, hey, I got a joint, I need you on. Can you do whatever? And it happened. Then Rodney Jerkins, Dark Child, hit me up.
Tough.
Yeah, he brought me to his house in January. That joint was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so sitting, kicking it with Rodney Jerkins, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. Like, he playing for me unreleased songs he ain't never played for anybody.
Yeah. so you use social media for your benefit. It wasn't, you used it as more of a business tool than just personal fun.
And that's the thing, and that's what I'm saying. So it's like, at first, it was like everybody, at first you get on, you just want to have fun, but then it's like, I'm like, dog, why am I really on here? I'm honestly not a huge internet technology type person, even though I do a lot of stuff that's really not my thing. Right. So I'm like, if I'm going to be on it, I need to get some kind of use from it. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Not just randomly just posting this or that. So I need to make it work for me. And then, like I said, it just kept evolving. It kept evolving, and it started working for me. And so,
that's dope. That's why I wanted you to touch on that, because a lot of people could take a page out of your book and it's artists, if they could use it the way you do, I mean, shit.
Yeah, and it's just being consistent with it. Like, I don't know any other drummer or anybody that is as consistent as I am every single day. Like, it's, and my thing is, the thing I come up with is, how am I going to make somebody say, Wes, I got my own sound every single day when I wake up? How am I going to make people talk or post? Hold on one second. This is my son. Sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted me to come over.
Nah, I didn't call you. That's it, bro. It's like I seen him he kept looking at the truck. I'm like, what do you want? Thought you wanted me to come over. No, I didn't. It's cool. Father life.
Yo.
But, yeah.
But let me ask you with that. You said, you know, with your consistency, how do you manage being so consistent with like feeling the pressure that you have to live up to the next post, or, you know, like, man, like, cause social media can become like, especially the way you use it. I mean, maybe you just, it's really effortless for you and you that good, but
it's not
every day sometimes can be taxing on a person. And so for me, sometimes I'm like consistent, and I'm like, man, I gotta turn this shit off. Like, even if I am trying to use it as a tool, sometimes it's like, man, I don't even want to mess with it. So how do you deal with like the pressure and being consistent?
Man, so the thing is, like you said, it is a lot of pressure, especially like when I first started doing them joints and all the artists started sharing them. I'm like, oh shoot, because it's like, I'm like, a lot of the songs that I was choosing to do, I literally have been thinking of those songs for years. Like, for years. I had just got out of trying to do like like drum covers. I had got out of that. Like, first time I started doing drums was like 2014, 15. You know what I'm saying? So I did a few. I did like the Meek Mill, Bobby Shmurda joint. That joint went viral, I think. And then the French Montana joint did alright. So it's like, I don't really want to go through having to pick this song, whatever. But then I got to a place where it's like, when you're comfortable, when you find your identity, I don't care if you find your identity in music or just in life, you start not to care what people think. So now I just got into a place where a lot of like a lot of joints that I post, it'd be like, one day it may be some rap joints, it may be some pop joints.
Right.
I even did the theme song to Stranger Things. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I listen to everything. So it's like, at the end of the day, if I'm saying I got my own sound, you gonna like whatever the hell I play. Right. And that's just, and it's not a cocky thing that I have. That's just my confidence. Like, and so now I just don't care. I don't care if it gets 200 views, 1,000 views, 35,000. Like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna play it in a way that can't nobody else play it. Right. And so that's been my formula. So it's like, when the joints go out, they just pop, it just hit. So at first, I was a little nervous, like, man, I gotta be consistent with all these different songs. I thought it had to be one way, but then it was like, nah, like, dog, you listen to everything. And a lot of joints you do, nobody else would think to do. So I just try to stay in that space of, let me just play my game and not get suckered into any other game. Because sometimes you'll watch so many other people are like, oh, man, I got to do a song that's like that. Or a lot of drummers I know, man, they do a lot of like jazz fusion tracks. They do all, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, that's cool. I could play them joints too, but I don't want to.
100, man. That's,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no, that's a major gem. Like, that hits home for me, because I consider myself a versatile artist. Like, I can, and I want to do all those different things, but sometimes you get, people, and, sometimes it's the voice in your head saying, you should make it, this is what's going to pop. This is what's going to pop. But you really got to listen to yourself and have your own identity and your own sound. And
I'm going to tell you, the one joint I did, and I was shocked that the joint went viral last year. I did the old school gospel joint, Order My Steps. But I put a hip hop vibe on it. So it was like all some like Philly type joint like that. And I was like, man, I'm going to do this joint. And I said, man, Bam was going to be like, what the hell is he doing when I drop this? And so I put the video out. It was a Sunday evening. And I think like I went to sleep. I woke up 4 hours later, man. That joint had like 10,000 plus views. Everybody, their mother was sharing it. And then I just got tagged in a few weeks ago, this some like basketball joint. Like they've had some of their stuff featured on like ESPN and all of that. They took my audio from that joint and put it on one of the basketball clips that's to be featured on ESPN coming up soon on the high school player.
That's a check.
Yeah.
CTC.
So what happened? I was like, why are they tagging me in this joint? And then I had put my headphones on. Then I heard, I'm like, that's me. I was like, oh shoot. I was like, oh, hey, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you literally just gotta get in a place where it's just like, man, let me just do this and not think about. That's why a lot of times I don't really go in the comment section and comment on a lot of my posts, because I don't never want to be bothered with what people's opinions. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like I that's how I stay focused and stay on my game. Like I can't worry about what y'all say, because everybody's not gonna like what I do. And I know it. Everybody's not gonna like the music I put out. Everybody's not gonna like the book I put out or how I play. And that's your opinion. But I gotta stay doing what I'm doing because it's working for me.
That's with anything, though. People, regardless of what you do in life, whether you're playing music, playing sports, doing a TV show, acting, whatever.
Especially at a high level, when people can see you.
You're always going to get criticized, because what you do is it's not going to be on the same page with everybody.
Right, and that's why I tell people it's important for you to have your identity. Yeah. That way, you don't conform, or you don't get discouraged on what people say. It's just like, oh, okay, cool. You say that. All right, I keep it moving. And that's
like you said a minute ago, get influenced, like with the music, I need to do, like you said, conform. I need to do or have this sound like this, because this is what's at the moment.
Yeah.
That will end up fizzling out at some point.
Right.
So like, be yourself. I mean, the one thing that I learned in this music shit is, when you're yourself and you're doing things genuinely and organically, doing them like that, that is what yields results. Yeah. Instead of trying to go and make calculated moves. Like that's what's gonna pay off. So let's take it back. I want you to talk about how you started. When you started drumming, how you got into music, and kind of just talk a little bit about your journey and your come up.
So I mean, I've been playing since I was born. My father had drumsticks in my hand. Like, brother got the picture. I was born. He literally put drumsticks in my hand. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, I mean, growing up watching my father play, growing up in church and stuff like that. And so, I always say, like, my father had me on the funk. Like, my father's a real huge funk head. You know what I'm saying? James Brown, he loves funk. So I learned pocket and groove growing up and being around him at gigs. He had funk. My mother kept me around the gospel. So, my father was a preacher, but he was a funk head. So I'm playing in church. So I got the gospel side. My mother, she always playing Heaven 600. So I know every gospel song. And my brother is a hip hop head. Like, he's straight Tribe Called Quest, Digable Plan. Like, he's all of that, right? Common, so I always said, like, growing up, I had all of those genres put in me at an early age. So it's just like, I grew up having my own sound without knowing that I already had my own sound.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So, so I'm growing up playing all that. My cousin Larry, my cousin L that played percussion with, he's the one who got me into go-go. So I'm playing in go-go bands by the age of 9, 10 years old. So I'm hanging around a lot of older people. So my sound is more mature for my age. Mm-hmm. You're 10 years old playing like a 18 or 19-year-old or a 20-year-old is like, shoot, that's different. Yeah. And so, I think at like 9, was I 9? Yeah, I was 9 when I first started playing for like Richard Smallwood. Huge guys were singing, especially back in the 90s. And then it just like, I just ended up just being at the right place at the right time with certain things. You feel what I'm saying? And but what really got me is like when I got heavy on the go-go scene, that opened up a lot of doors. You know what I'm saying? So I met a lot of people that got me to certain artists. I was so mad. Like I had started playing for the band. I was filling in for Familiar Faces, and Darnell Floyd called me one time. Like, hey, and he has a lot of connections to a lot of people. He used to be with Red Essence, so you know they was back there with Puff and them back in the day and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, man, I forgot the guy's name. He like, my man is in New York, and most definitely he's a drummer. And I told him about you. I'm like, most. And this is before
How old are you right then?
So which Most Def album is this around?
Yeah, how old are you?
Man,
what year is this?
Man, this was late 2000. This is
Okay.
Yeah, this was like 2011 or 12.
Okay.
He was doing it. Yeah. It wasn't like back. Trust me, it was back then. Man. But it was like he called.
Is this Most Def or Yasin Bey?
Nah, it's
Most.
It's right before. Right before
it's still Most.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still Most. Yeah. It was right before the Yasin Bey. But it was like getting a call for that, and they was like, man, the only thing was like, we need you to be here in like 4 hours. I'm like, yo, you gotta be kidding me right now. Like, it's what I'm like, he push it back, he do this, do that. And you know, it didn't end up happening, but just even knowing that I got the call for that joint, like that was a highlight. But yeah, so like, you know, like I said, the Go-Go, that opened up a lot of doors for me. Playing with all the different bands I played with, I was able to make my name good in the city. So making my name good in the city, and when other artists come around, they're hearing about you. And so I've never wanted to be the person where it's like, I don't really care about if everybody knows me. I need the right people to know me. I don't care if I walk into a room and it's 100 people and only one of them know me. As long as that one person
is
the
one
guy,
like you.
Yep.
So it's like, as long as that one person is the person I need to get me where I need to go, I'm cool with it. Mm-hmm. And so then that's what happened. And then social media just helped push it along. So it's like, you know, but it wasn't really until like, so you take from me being elementary school, playing at church, playing in go-go bands, it honestly it didn't pick up heavy until 2015, 2016. That's when I decided to quit my full time. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just put everything in the music, because I always worked 2 full-time jobs and did music and had a kid. So it was like tough. So once I really just focused on music, man, that's when the doors of everything else opened up, and I was able to start playing for different artists and start collabing with them, working with them, touring and stuff like that.
That's dope. Tell us some of the artists that you played with and toured with, but also just like spot dates.
Yeah. So I got to do Dwelle, Big Daddy. Yeah, Dwelle, Big Daddy Kane.
When I met Big Daddy Kane, I name dropped you. I was like, yeah, my drummer played with you last week. He's like, yeah, he was dope.
Man, dog, that drink was so nerve-wracking at first, because he came in the drink, and that'd be the dope thing. A lot of OG, just anybody should know their music, you know what I'm saying? But like, man, we was in there rehearsing, came up there, like, he ain't say what's up. He just had that face like, he was like, hey, he was telling the keyboard player, he was like, hey, that sound not right. I need you to do this, do that. And so then he was like, and so I didn't even think he knew who I was at first. I was like, oh, man, he about to be one of them artists that just ignorant, da-da-da-da-da. So he was like, nah, when you play the beat, play it like this. I'm like, all right. Man, he grabbed a mic and knew every single person in the band's name.
Wow.
I'm like, how the hell?
So he did his due diligence.
That's dope.
Yeah, man.
That's dope.
Listen. Then he was like, and when he was like, hey, Wes, I want you to take a solo right here. I'm like, oh, all right, back. And but it was just like, that drip was nerve-wracking at first, but then it was like, yo, he just on 1,000. Like, he know his stuff, he know what he read. And it's like, he's like me, like, I want to work and I get to all the other stuff later. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that was just definitely, dope person. But yeah, so Big Daddy Kane, Chrisette Michelle recorded some stuff for her. It's like a whole bunch. I can't even think of.
Jill Scott, you played with her, right?
No, I ain't played. Nah, I wish.
Okay. I thought you had.
It's gonna come.
Oh yeah.
We just spoke it into existence.
Yeah, I'm with it.
There it goes.
It already happened. I thought you mentioned that.
It's crazy because next week he gonna call you and be like, yo, guess what happened? Guess who just...
Now I know some homies that play for it. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I haven't had the opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah, but like Ryan Leslie, well, that was kind of like a hit and miss. That's a whole nother.
Oh, I remember that. You told me that story. Yeah.
I like Ryan Leslie, man. Well, old Ryan Leslie. I don't know what he's doing now.
Me too.
But
Yeah, I don't either. But
Man, it's you know, my thing was like I got the call to play for him this past October, and they see me doing the Instagram. Saw me doing one of his videos. I did a joint to addiction.
Okay.
So it's just like, hey man, we got an opportunity for you. And the one thing I try to tell people, like, it's cool. It's cool to have people see who you are on Instagram. But I try to tell people, like, I'm not an Instagram musician. I didn't just come up overnight.
Right.
It's just a tool. So don't be thinking, I be trying to tell people, like, don't be thinking you sitting here doing me a favor of hit me, because it's like a lot of artists who we think are doing it big, and they not making what you think, and they not paying. And if they are making what you think, they damn sure ain't paying the band nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the artist. I'm not gonna say all artists. So like they hit me to do the joint, and so I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, what's the details? It's like, yeah, it's 3 8-hour rehearsals. I'm like, all right, how much of the rehearsals? They like, it's free. Wait, 3 8? So that's 8, 16 plus 24? 24 hours of rehearsal?
Whole day.
For free? So I'm like, man, I'm supposed to fly out to Miami this Friday to do this, do that.
Next
like,
question is, how much you paying for the gig?
Man, it's
like,
right.
You know, because maybe they making up for it on that end, but.
And that's what I was thinking. So the money they was paying for the gig, I'm like, it didn't even make up for it. And so I'm like, dog, like this is, they like, does that work for you? I'm like, nah, not really. Like, I go tour with the Thunderbirds, and I make half of what you gonna pay me on this joint. I'll make that with them in one night, probably. Right. Like, not even one night, in an hour and a half. So I'm like, dog. But the thing is, I was just like, he's a CEO of a tech company. So I'm on my business stuff. So I'm like,
I did see
yeah. And the joint is dope. Like that's why he stepped away from music.
It's for artists, right?
Yeah, it's for artists, and it's a cell phone, it's a phone joint. Because he was like one of the first artists that started giving his number out where people could talk directly. So it's along the lines of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he partnered with a few artists in the industry that's actually doing that now. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It's through his company, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So my thing was, I'm like, well, if I can get next to him business-wise, maybe I can soak up something, or something can become, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, I'm always trying to think of the big picture, the vision. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, man, I do the tour. They like, it's a week and a half in Germany, 7 shows. So I'm like, I'm still doing the math on the money. I'm just like, I'm gonna make more money being home. But I'm like, all right, I ain't been to Germany in a minute, been a few years. Yeah.
Who says that though? All right, I go. I ain't been in a minute. Let me see what's going on.
It was like, because the thing was, I made the phone call I needed to make sure all my gigs and stuff was cool. And then I had it set. So, like, when I come back, as soon as I came back home, I was right back to work. So I'm like, all right, cool. I make it work, whatever. But going to the rehearsal, they sent me in there blind. Like, they ain't sent me no music, no nothing. So you go in there, you hit me with 22 songs. I'm like, I didn't even know you had 22 hits. I know about a good solid 5. Like, not even being funny, because it's like, dog, like, Ryan Leslie was really only out for a minute. You know what I'm saying? But he had songs, but it's like the radio was only playing certain joints. Diamond Girl, Addiction.
The joint he did for Fab and
right.
Carrie Hilson.
Yo, it was one joint that was my shit. It's called Gibberish.
Gibberish was cool.
Yeah.
That song was dope. It wasn't a hit, but
sweet though.
I like that.
The album was good.
It was. So my thing was this. If you're going to hit me with that many songs, because like the one of the things they asked, they like, are you familiar with Ryan Leslie's song? I'm like, yeah, like the main joints, but I'm like, So my thing is, if you had 3 albums, tell me what songs I need to listen to. Tell me what songs I need to listen to that's going to get me prepared.
Right.
So you can't have one song that got 18 songs and then you want to do 17 out of the 18.
Yeah.
Brother, I don't know. No, I don't know all of them.
Because he did a couple for Cassie. I don't know if y'all played them.
Man, dude, when I tell you, listen, man.
Actually.
This is the crazy part. I got to New York for this rehearsal. Again, nobody. I'm like, hey, give me music, whatever. Nah, it's cool. You get the music when you get there. Okay, I'm not used to that, but all right, I'll get the music when I get there. Man, hit me with 22 songs, with songs that had arrangements, and like, man, won't you play it exactly like this? I'm like, Slim, you got to give me music in advance.
Right.
Like, not now, not after I just took a 4-hour trip to New York from Maryland. And yeah, so it was just like, I flew out to Miami that next day, and we ended up talking like probably like a few hours after I landed. And I was just like, nah, you know, I can't do it. I can't do it because it's gonna put me in a position where it looks like I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And I'm already in the rehearsal. Yeah, so we was already in rehearsal. Like I had to tell the bass player, and I'm like, they ain't never sent me no music. They're like, man, I knew they ain't doing that.
Oh, they didn't
I'm
send
like,
nobody music. Wow.
Well, they. So I was coming to replace his drum he already had for whatever situation. So that's why they called me so last minute. They called me 2 days before the show. Now I don't mind cramming, and you know, sometimes you got to cram homework, and I can do last minute stuff. But if you don't send me nothing, then what can you really expect?
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
so,
that's tough.
You know, but at the end of the day, like the one thing I could say, when we rap, he kept business. So that's why I don't really have anything bad to say. My problem was just the whole music situation, but we kept business, and you know, he made sure I was cool. So it was just like I respect you for that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's cool to have the choice to say if I want to go on tour or if I don't want to.
Yeah, you got options, man. Like
yeah, that's a good thing. That's the good thing about being in my position. Like I don't have to if I don't want to. So,
right. It's a good situation.
Yeah.
Who are some other artists that were like difficult to work with? Like you thought Big Daddy Kane was gonna be like when he first, you know, walked on the set. Anybody come in here like real bougie and kind of holding their
man, I think that back in the day, this Jaguar Wright that did
I remember you telling me this
story.
For the
Jay-Z joint on Unplugged, right?
Man, this was 2000. Oh man, this had to be like 2009 or 2010 maybe. And one of the bands I was playing with, man, had to do a joint for, but I already had a gig before, so I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be late. Like, y'all need to call somebody else, get them. You know, it's gonna be a minute before I get there. Nah, it's cool. We just gonna start when you get here. I think this was at Live. Ain't Live the joint they shut down at? DC, right?
Over top of the Bohemian Caverns on 14th.
Yep. So
Google Maps.
Yeah. No, that was a staple spot, man. That was a big deal when they tore it down.
Yeah, so we at Live. I come in there late, and so the band is literally playing the intro because they're literally blowing my phone. Like, where you at? I'm like, yo, I told y'all running late. It's DC, and it's on a Saturday. So like, no, it's DC on a Saturday. Like, I gotta find parking. Like,
you gotta get to the city first.
Man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I get in there, I rush upstairs, I set my drums up real quick, and so they're literally playing the intro. So sitting there, and I'm like, damn, I wonder where she at. And I never paid attention. Like, she was laying on the couch that they had on stage, like right next. She has a microphone in her hand, just like, oh, so I guess we can finally get started. So I'm like, what the hell? And so because it was kind of dark in there. So I'm like,
You said there was a couch by the drum set?
yeah, like they yeah, don't listen, man.
That was her stage plot?
I don't know. I think it was just they just had too much stuff or whatever, but that's how they had it set up. So she on the couch, man, and so she get up. We're literally playing the intro at this point in time by at least probably about a good 5-6 minutes, and she sings nothing. And next thing you know, she starts going off on the microphone, dog. Like to the point we stop, and the crowd is like, man, the crowd started booing. Like it got ugly that night.
Oh, okay. This was at Live. So yes, there was always those couches up there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what drum was that?
Huh?
Oh, you said it wasn't Live?
No, I'm saying it was Live, so there were couches. There were always those white couches there. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm like, so man, she's going off, and dog, like the crowd lets her have it.
Oh, good.
Like, I mean, to the point like dudes is cussing out. I would just do what I say. That was one of the most like, you just sit on stage like, are we still getting paid for this?
That's crazy. Like I'm still doing my job at least, you know.
Yeah, but honestly, like doing. Man, I really don't have too many like horror stories because, like, Kane, you know me, like if I don't get down with you, I just don't get down with you. I just cut it. You know what I'm saying? I try to avoid the horror stories because you never know when you're gonna have to cross that bridge again. And I never want to be the person where it's like, oh man, I need this artist. You know what I'm saying? And then you go on, you know, so I do my best to try to just keep it like, if it's not gonna be like this, then I'd rather just cut ties. So then that way you cool, I'm cool. You don't do nothing to say nothing disrespectful. I don't say do nothing disrespectful. We keep it moving. You know, I think like one of the only artists that I really, and I don't even want to say it's a problem, but it was just like me and Curly Malachi, that was like one of the only joints I really like severed and just was just like, you know, she cool people, she dope musician. It just, we just didn't see eye to eye on a few things. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's just like, you know, you keep it moving. You know, you don't you have to be in the mindset of knowing like every artist is not gonna always be your friend or your homie. Like there's business.
That's business.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And so some people, and that's the line we have to walk. Like, and Kane, like Kane, my dog, but we keep it business 100 before all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that at the end of the day, I never give anybody a reason to say, oh, Wes was wrong or he was this. If I kept it business with you, I kept it business with you. That's the one thing you ain't gonna never be able to talk about. It's my business. If we ain't get down or want to sit down and eat a turkey sandwich, I just don't like turkey. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say that's one thing working with Wes that I think we both appreciate. I'll say I appreciate from him is that like sometimes in music or whatever it is, if there aren't clear expectations before you begin a job or something, then that can go south. But there's always clear expectations set on whatever it is that we're working on. Wes always has his ducks in a row, so to speak, and keeps it a buck with you about everything. And so there's never any surprises like, oh, whatever. We avoid a lot of shit from potentially going south because of communication up front.
The business piece was taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like that with my band, artists, whoever. Like, I never want my reputation to be that guy that, oh, he didn't take care of business, or you tried to be a friend, but you didn't have me on the business end. Like, I told myself that's never going to be me. Period. Period. That's why I say, like, I tell a person in a quick minute, nah, I'm cool, I'm good. You go ahead, keep it.
Right.
You know.
So who are some of your favorite people to perform with, or like some of your best performances?
Some of my best performances, man, for real, for the Thunderbirds.
That's what I thought you were gonna say that.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you like this. I toured with them for 3.5 years straight. We had one rehearsal. That was in 2015.
You told me that. They didn't
Yeah.
rehearse.
Yeah. So like literally the show would he literally just called whatever during the show. So you don't know.
I feel like a lot of blues artists do that.
Yeah, but see, for me,
why do they do that?
I'm used to it in go-go, but I didn't know they did that in blues. And so the thing with blues is like, as long as you know how to shuffle, you're gonna be good. But you have to know which shuffle is which. That's the thing. So especially when I don't rehearse, and he literally he's not turning around saying the name of a song. We finished one song, 1, 2, 1. I'm like, okay, let me just go ahead and play this and see what happens. But I like that joint because they allowed me to be me. So even though it was blues, I was able to infuse my style on it. So it kind of became like a blues funk type. It was just a whole different vibe the way I played it. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I love that joint because you literally didn't know what you were going to expect every night. Like, it might, like, sometimes you might get lucky. He called the same show. I know my first show with them, I ain't know nothing. We was on the cruise ship. We was on the cruise ship for a week and a half and only had 2 shows. And after we came off the cruise ship, then we had to hit the road. So I literally got to do 2 shows. You can't rehearse. Like, I'm like, okay. So after I do that second show, it's 5 days until the next show. So I ain't had no music. So it literally was just, everything is just off of memory. And then I left for like 7 months because they had brought the old drummer back. But then they got into situation fine. And they like, man, we want you back, whatever. Cool. So I'm gone for 7 months, came back, total different show. But I ain't missing out one step.
Yeah, see, and that makes it fun and exciting for the artist too, because you get tired of playing the same stuff.
Same thing.
So that makes it fun, and I think the people in the crowd can pick up on that. Like, if you having fun, then it's gonna translate to the people.
Yeah. So it's like them, and then got my own sound in the go-go band, like Serious Company I play with now. Like, of course got my own sound like us because it's our own thing, so we get to control what we do. You know what I'm saying? So I love that aspect. Like, it's one of the funnest joints. Like, we'll take you hip hop, we'll take you R&B, we'll take you wherever. Like, you're in our world.
It's an experience, man. I don't think Reggie has seen one of those shows, but not with Got My Own Sound though.
I've been on a show.
You have? I don't think I think you've seen West. You've seen West, but you haven't seen a Got My Own Sound show. No, where. All right, well. So why don't you?
Because I come to your shows when I can.
You do.
You know that.
You do. Facts.
When I'm in town or if I'm around, you tell me.
Like, what I'm saying, West, is he needs to see like a city winery or like a blues alley.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? You get the full,
the
full experience. Yeah, you would like that.
Yeah.
There's something different about the different venues. But what was your favorite, or you think your best performance with Got My Own Sound?
That first time we did the city winery.
Mm-hmm. That one was
that drink right there. That was last March 30th of last year.
Yeah, that sold it out.
Yeah, we was 30 people off from selling that joint out. Yep. That joint was crazy. Like, we've had other great shows, but it was just that. It was like we was just on that night. Like, it wasn't a care in the world. Like, that joint was crazy.
Yeah,
that was my favorite show.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree.
Let me ask you this, because this has been boiling in my head, and I'm still stuck on it. I'm intrigued by it because you've been to Haiti, you've been to Germany. What other countries have you been to perform? And what was your favorite? Like, what was your favorite city or country for performing? Because I've been all around Europe.
You got Mr. Worldwide right here.
Yeah, I've been all around Europe. Asia, the Caribbean.
I ain't been to Asia yet. I've been to Norway, Amsterdam.
So like Norway is somewhere I want to go.
Dude, Norway.
Got
Norway
excited about Norway.
No, Norway is so clean. like that's like I don't know why. It's like one of the first things I noticed. It was just like clean. Like
That's how Asia is. A lot of like, sorry, Japan.
Where in Japan?
Well, I was only in Tokyo.
I was right outside of
But
Tokyo.
like the public transit in Thailand, bro, it makes New York and DC look crazy.
Well, the rest of the world make America look crazy.
Well, you was in South Korea though. Like I'm not talking about.
It's clean.
It was clean. So why you looking at me crazy?
So I've been to other parts of Asia where it's like,
Yeah, well, I haven't been to very many, so I'm not talking about the back alleys.
So Norway, where else?
yeah, Norway, Amsterdam, Haiti, Barbados, St. Lucia, Grenada, Canada. It's a few. I had to look on the passport, man. There's so many spots.
That's
like the
crazy.
Thunderbirds, between the Thunderbirds and Carolyn Malachi, when I was literally doing tours back to back with them two, and they had me everywhere, like everywhere. I'm trying to think of where else we went.
You know, it's amazing, like the tools that we all possess, like that your tool can take you to different places. Like,
Yeah,
That's the dopest
and
part.
you like growing up and learning it, whether it be music, whether it be like I say sports or whatever. You don't really realize that. You just love to do it just because you just love to do it. But then when you kind of sit back and reflect on it, when you get to certain points of your career and things like that, you're like, man, this rapping or playing the drums or me playing basketball, like this thing can take you to different heights and different places that your friends and family can only imagine. Like they just live through you for doing all this.
Yeah, it's dope.
I think it's pretty awesome.
It is. I mean, I ain't been to Norway. I haven't been half the places y'all have been. But when you do realize you're at a place because of your talent or your craft or whatever got you, really appreciate it. It's like
you have to have another appreciation for your craft.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people, like, man, don't allow your gift to take you places that your character not ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's important, especially like with the two, especially being a musician. There are a lot of musicians I know that their opportunities got shortened because of their character. So like you said, like you gotta.
It happens in basketball too.
Yeah, and that's just in anything. That's in life. Like when you're not, like, your character has to match your gift. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, people gonna see your character before they see your gift.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They might know you from your gift, but they're going to see your character. So if your character ain't 1,000, Bama's ain't gonna rock with you. Calls gonna stop coming. People ain't gonna want to bump with you. You're gonna get a reputation, and that reputation is gonna stop you short in your tracks. Mm-hmm. You ain't gonna be able to travel. You ain't gonna be able to do a bunch of things. You're gonna be back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's very important that I try to preach that to a lot of youngins all the time, dog. Make sure your character match your gift, yeah. Like your gift can be dope, but your gift will have you in the house dope for the next 30 years.
True. That's very true.
Yeah, that's a gem.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell us, what you're working on right now? What's coming up next?
So right now, my second book.
But sorry. Before you tell us that, and I also want you to, if you can speak on your first book too, that we have here.
This book came out. What was it
last year?
Yeah, and he had the release one of the shows. Yep. It's called "The Life That Created My Own Sound." This is actually my mom's copy. I stole it.
Oh yeah. This is gonna sound funny.
Wes signed it.
Can you tell us about it?
So basically, like, it's not about music, but it's like got my own sound. Just in general, is a metaphor. Like anybody that got their own sound, like you just got that own thing about you. You work, you grind, you hustle. That's your sound. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got. For me, my sound was everything I went through that built me up to what I am today. So the book speaks a lot. The book speaks a lot on mental health. I went through depression. I went through alcoholism. I've tried to take myself out a few times. I talk about my last suicide attempt in there. Actually, June 16th will be 6 years since my last suicide attempt. You know what I'm saying? Fighting for custody for my son. And then how I got to where I am today. That's what that whole book speaks on. It's purpose and stuff like that, because for so long I had so many issues because I thought I had to hide it. I thought, I think a lot of times in the Black community, we grow up like, and people tell you like, oh man, you ain't supposed to talk to no therapist, you ain't supposed to do this, you ain't supposed to do that. You feel what I'm saying? And so it's like, nah, that's wrong. You feel what I mean? And it's like, the thing is, like, you realize everybody goes through things. Like, at the end of the day, everybody needs an outlet. Everybody needs to talk to somebody. It don't mean that you're crazy because you go to a therapist. It don't mean that you're out your mind. It just means that you need help. You don't feel like you can talk to whoever's around you, so you need to go get whatever help you need to get. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, I'm heavy on God. I'm heavy on prayer the whole nine. So I had my parents, I had people praying for me that didn't even know what I was going through. You feel what I'm saying? And so it's like, I've tried shoot myself. I've tried stab myself. The last time, though, I took 8, 10 pills, whatever. Man, it was so much. Like, I literally should not be here talking to y'all right now. Period. But by the grace of God, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And so I talk about that. I talk about my alcoholism I had. Like, I used to drink 24/7. Like, I used to work in a bank. I would go into the bank ripped. Like, done. I'm talking about I'm on my lunch break drinking moonshine. And the thing was, I was trying to drink away my problems. But the thing is, you could drink all day long, but
They don't go away.
it's still there. You know what I'm saying? And so,
Just means you got to
like,
drink more when you get up because they still there.
You know what I mean? And so the thing is, so now I'm spending more money every single day going to the liquor store, drinking, trying to hide my problem. But it's like, fool, you ain't going to hide nothing because you ain't dealt with it.
Right.
And so, like, it took time for me to really get to a place where I had to talk to myself first. It was like, okay, like, you look at it, I look at it like this. Every day in life, we have a decision. When you wake up in the morning, you decide if you want to brush your teeth or wash your face. You don't have to, but if you don't, you're going to have crusty eyes. Your breath won't stay. You make a decision if you want to go to work. You don't have to go to work, but the consequences of you not going to work is what? You ain't going to have no money. You ain't going to have no house or no, you feel what I'm saying? So I had to make a decision, like, it's not so much that, and this is just for me, and I tell people, I'm not a therapist. I'm just telling what helped for Wesley. You know what I'm saying? I made a decision that you got to stop this. The only reason you drinking is because you don't want to deal with your issues. So when you deal with everything that's in front of you, now I don't have a reason to drink 24/7. Like, I don't abuse alcohol anymore. And like I tell people, now, do I still drink? Yes. I still like to have a drink. That's just me. But do I drink 24/7? Do you see a liquor bottle in my hand like I used to? No, you don't. I don't even drink liquor no more. I do wine. And, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, that was my thing. So it's like, the only reason I was drinking so much and drinking every single hour was because I didn't want to deal with everything that was in front of me. And so now, when you deal with it, when you actually are honest with yourself, when you chase your like, I chased the root of every single situation I had going on. And most of it started with who? Me. So now, how can I correct myself? I have to admit to myself that you did this. This is why this person was messed up. This is why this relationship didn't work. This is what you did to people. I gotta bear that. I gotta wear that. It's a consequence of my actions. Right. But the thing is, everything that we think that disqualifies us, it actually qualifies us. That's why we're built to be who we are. That's why everybody can't walk in my shoes. Everybody can't walk in your shoes. Everybody can't walk in your shoes. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was built to walk in their own situation. So once I started embracing that joint, and I'm like, okay, I effed up, but I can get through this joint. It ain't the end of the world. You feel what I'm saying? Right. And so it just gave me a boldness and a confidence about myself to get through. And so that's mainly what that book talks about. And even going through, fighting for custody of my son, like, me and my son mother, we was young back in the day. A lot of stuff, the reason why we ended up in court, it wasn't because of her. When I chased the problem down, it was because of me.
Mhm.
I literally chased everything back down to the day of everything that happened. I remember it like it was yesterday. We got into an argument. People are going to get into arguments. It's what you say in an argument. That's why I had, like, that whole situation, going to court, it taught me patience. Like, me and my son mother, that's my dog now. Like, that's my homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, she need anything, I got her. I need anything, she got me. But the thing is because of where I was, I would say anything off. Like, that's how I used to be. I was short-tempered. I say whatever, and I'm the type of person, like, I used to be the type of person, I'd be like, I hope you die, and keep it moving. Like, I literally used to be like that because I was depressed on my own self. Because I didn't care about my own life. So when you don't care about your own life, you don't care about nobody else's. You don't care about what you say. You don't care about what you do to anybody.
You actually projecting it on other people.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, when I look back at a lot of stuff, when she started telling me why she did what she did, I'm like, man, you only did that because of me. So it's like, and I'm not saying like she apologized for certain things. I apologize for certain things, but it's like, when you're actually honest and I'm able to wear it now, just be like, I can walk with my head up and say, yo, I messed up. But I'm glad everything happened because it allowed me to learn about myself. You feel what I'm saying? And so again, that's what got me to where I am now. So it's like, that's what made me have the confidence to even write the book. Because you know what I mean?
When was like because a lot of people deal with like mental health things.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big, I know like in the sports world, it's like a big thing. A lot of athletes are now coming out, you know,
Dealing with it, yeah.
saying how they deal with the mental health. That's why a lot of them advocate for, you know, smoking marijuana and stuff because it helps them calm them down.
Right.
What was like the moment you realized that other people deal with some of the same and similar issues that you dealt with? Like you said, you dealing with suicide, committing suicide, and I know there are people out there that deal with stuff like that. Like, was there ever a moment that you realized like you aren't the only one that goes through stuff like that, like the attempts and stuff, alcoholism and things?
Nah, the crazy thing is like, I've always been a person that, whether they male or female, that everybody come to and tell their problems. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I had friends around me that was going through worse stuff that I'm going through. I'm giving them advice, and they coming out good, and I'm still sitting here in my funk.
So you're not taking the advice that you give them.
That I'm giving them. Yeah. How that sound?
Yeah. I think we all do that too.
I had that in a recent song I put out. So,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I was doing it for so long and I didn't have an outlet let me say, it's not that I didn't have an outlet. I thought I didn't have an outlet. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you always have a choice. You have somebody to talk to. You can go get help. But sometimes we make up stories in our head. Oh, nobody cared about me. Nobody want to talk to me. But it's like, sometimes you got to be the person to take the first step and say, hey, listen, can I talk to you? I got this going on. Or, hey, let me go holler at the therapist or whatever. So it's like, when you don't do that, again, it's like, you literally got to look at it like, yo, it's me. It's nobody else. So when people don't, and the thing is, like, what I used to do was people ask, hey, man, you good? Oh, yeah, I'm cool. And then you go make them start, man, ain't nobody asked me what's going on with me. They see, like, fool, you just sat there and told them that you good.
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I would literally make those conversations up in my head. And so, like I said, it wasn't until I literally made that decision to start dealing with everything head on that I was just like, man, a lot of this stuff you created that you ain't even had to go through.
Right. So what gave you the courage to come out and write a book about it and talk about it, you know, so openly?
Man, so I started writing the book in 2018. So the thing is, so like, after the last suicide tip, when I went and started getting help and everything like that, I had been thinking about it for a while. So, but the thing is, like, sometimes you have people that feel like they have your secrets. And like I had some people I didn't get down. And right before the book, I had to go back and ask people for, for forgiveness for certain things that I've done. You know what I'm saying? Females too, you know what I mean? And so you get to a point where it's like, I don't feel like holding this in no more.
Mm-hmm.
Because because sometimes people started thinking like, oh, Wes, you're good, like you got everything in your life going. I know one of my folks had told my man he had some stuff going on, and he hit me just like, hey, cuz, man, I wish I was just you. I wish I had your life, dog. Like, you don't even understand. I'm like, what? Like, man, what you talking about? Like, man, and he literally like, man, you on the road, you touring, you doing this, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't dealing with half the stuff I'm dealing with. I'm like, oh, nigga, you have not the slightest clue. You know what I'm saying? Because I hid everything that good. Like, I literally was a functioning alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
I was always on my game. Wasn't late to work. Wasn't late to my gigs. Had everything moving. My son was straight. I was functioning that good. It was like, it literally started getting to the point where moonshine wasn't even doing nothing.
That's tough because moonshine
is
a motherfucking
rocky.
Dog, when I'm saying I'm drinking this much moonshine and I'm still cool, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's an issue. So it was just like, man, I just started I had that wake up call, and I was just like, I don't want to hold on to this. Like, it just makes it feel like I have so many secrets and people don't really know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got to a place where I'm just like, I'm confident who I am now. And that's why I said it in the first book. I'm like, you got to make sure you have your identity. Because once you have identity, negative words don't affect you. I don't care about your opinion now. I've dealt with everything I've done. I know I'm not perfect. I done messed up a whole hell of a lot. You know what I'm saying? I tell a lot of people, don't say you want to be like me, because when you say you want to be like somebody, that means you want to go through what they went through to get to where they at now. Because don't look at them now. Go back and look at my past and see if you still want to be like me.
Right.
Go back and look at my past, see the people I hurt, see if you still want to be like me. See what I got to walk with every single day. See some of the guilt that I still carry with me, even though I've been forgiven, but it's just something that stays with you, because it's like, if you cross a person you messed over and now they messed up for life, that's just a guilt you got to rock with that.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I did that. And I have two people that I got to rock with like that. I messed up. And I gotta take that every day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's part of what comes with me. But I literally just got to a point where I just like, man, I didn't want that weight anymore.
So it was almost liberating.
Like, yeah. And so then, like, the crazy thing is, when I first started Got My Own Sound was going to be a clothing line, and then it was going to be a book, then it was going to be music.
Mm-hmm.
Then I just reversed it. So now that I had did the albums, I came with the book. So now it was just like, I love writing. That's one thing I love to do. I love writing. I can sit and write all day long. You know what I'm saying? So then I'm just like, okay, so when I do the book, let me give everybody the introduction of who Wes actually is.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm able to go, and that's why I'm doing the second book, Motivation Plus Driving to Purpose. Now I'm letting people see, okay, this is me. This is who I am. This is why I speak the way I do when I'm on Instagram and all these videos and do what I do, because this is what I've been through. That's what got me in the mindset that I'm in now. This is what keeps me pushing. This is what keeps me going. So, yeah.
That's dope. So I don't know if you want to give that information out, but what can we expect from the second book?
So this book right here, like I said, it literally just talks about motivation, drive, and purpose. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, like, we're all born with purpose, right? So the thing is, you have to have a motivation and a drive to get to your purpose. Mm-hmm. Like, but you can't get to your purpose if you don't have no identity. Identity gives you, when you got your identity, you know who you are. Nobody can tell you who you're not. So if you have vision, if you have this, you got your identity, because now I know what I'm supposed to be doing. So that's what it's talking about. It's talking about achieving your goals and just literally having the motivation and the drive. And I'm just giving a lot of stories of times when people took away, when I gave people the authority to take away my motivation and my drive. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like I said, nobody can take it away from you unless you give them the power to.
Mhm.
And so when I didn't have no identity, I allowed people to, I thought that people took certain things away from me and took my drive away from me to do this. Like even when I quit music for it, it was a certain period of time that I quit playing drums. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I took that from my own self, but it's like I had to find the motivation and drive because to operate in my purpose. Like me playing drums, me doing music is just a part of who I am. That's not my purpose. My main purpose is impact. That's why I shared my story. There are certain people that I've been able to reach that went beyond music. And had I not did it with the book, that book opened up for me to start doing these videos that I do on Instagram. So all the messages I get from people over the world, like, oh my goodness, your video did this. I heard you talk about this. I heard you talking about suicide. I had a dude hit me last year, right before he checked into rehab. He was like, yo, like the joint caught me caught me off guard so bad because he sent me a message and was like, you know, I don't even know if you'll see this, but I'm literally about to get ready to kill myself. So I shot dude my number. I'm like, we on the phone for a minute and end up convincing this band to go check into rehab.
Wow. That's tough.
Like,
That's powerful. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like dog. So it's like, yo, eyes are on you more than you think. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like I'm responsible for making sure that I help give people tools that may be able to help them in life. All I can do is give. I'm not saying I can fix everything. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to make sure that I do my part in trying to impact people as much as I can off the drums. Like the drums is cool, but I like having life conversations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm huge on that. So
it's definitely working, man. You impacting people. You impacted me for sure. I mean, the time when you were early on in the creation of this book and the Got My Own Sound album called Out of Love, I was coming out with the solo album at the same time, and I was trying to get into some of those personal topics of mental health and addiction, and having that conversation with yourself and being in a place where you know, you accept who you are and you know, letting go of a lot of external pressure. I wanted to have those same conversations, and organically we came together. And that's so word. Yeah, that's one of the overused words on this show. But like it really was just natural. So like I feel like that Out of Love album, my verses and stuff that I'm talking about, it speaks to this book, but it's also like an extension of what I was talking about on my album Closer to Nothing. And so like you gave me, you know, you inspired me to like continue to have those conversations, because it is hard. That's why I asked you, like, how did you have the courage to come out and say it? Because you know, that's personal shit. You know, a lot of skeletons that you don't want to put out there. But as an artist, you are in a position to use that to help other people, and you know, and to liberate yourself too. I think at the end of the day, that's why I did it. You know why? And
I got you, and that's why I say I continue to do it. And the thing is, like I tell people, like even when you go through stuff like that, when you go through depression and everything, like it's not like it just stopped. That's why, like, the thing I don't like at times, like so many people talk about depression, but it's like, do you really have depression or you just having a bad day? And if you are having depression, what's the why? How are you getting yourself out of it? A lot of people talk about it, but okay, cool, you went through that, but how did you get through it? Or did you get through it? Don't say you depressed and then, because like for real, I think like last year I started seeing so many people coming out about it. Not like, saying that everybody doesn't, but it was like, it was almost like a trendy. I'm like, huh? Like, and like I said, I'm not saying that everybody can't hide it, because they can. I had it good, but it's like, okay, how are you getting through it? You're responsible now. So if you're telling me you got this, that, and the fourth going on, how did you get through it? Or did you get through it? Because I know some people that I know personally that was saying it, but they didn't get through it. But you're trying to make it seem like you did. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to have that responsibility. You have to make sure that you're doing everything to tell the people that you need to tell to get through. You feel what I'm saying?
I was recently going through it. For real? Last year, and I mean, he know how I got through it. I went to Italy, had a whole spiritual experience.
Yeah.
And I mean, ever since I did that, stuff just started falling back in place for me.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like myself. I mean, I won't
That's crazy.
disclose what I did, but it worked. I know it worked.
We might have
That's
to
what's
have
We'll have a conversation.
Yeah, we
about
might have to have
that.
another episode just about that.
I'm with it. I'm
But,
with it. Let me know. I'm with it.
But yeah, bro. So just finishing off here. Yeah, let us know what else you're working on. I know you got the book.
Yeah.
New album coming, right?
Yeah, the new album.
I actually got some work to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually going to the studio today. I got some stuff coming through, man. And I've this album, I feel like with the people that's going to be on it, I haven't said anything about the artist that's going to be on it because, like, I want to make sure that once I hear the vocals, I'm like, it's stamped. Because I think a lot of times some people, they name drop, and then when you don't see them names on, it's like, you was capping. You know what I mean? So I
know though, so you ain't got it. I know.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And y'all can talk about it. I don't care. You can tell them off.
I'll let them know.
But yeah, like I said, the new album, we're behind the 8 ball with everything that happened. So I want it out by August. But yeah, so the new Got My Own Sound album, that's gonna be coming. The new book, Motivation Plus Drive Equal Purpose. Then I'm also just working on. I'm dropping my own loops. You know what I'm saying? Got My Own Sound loops. So it's gonna be on Splice, all them other type joints for producing. You know what I'm saying? Gonna have sound pack, the whole 9.
So it's just like your drum patterns, basically.
Yep, my whole drum package. Yeah. So I got 11 different loops on there right now. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm gonna start doing is every 2 months I'm gonna drop a new joint. And then on top of that, the last thing I'm about to start working on is just an all drum album. So I might add like some keys and bass, but it's just gonna literally just be like all drum grooves. So yeah, man. So doing that and yeah, that's it. And waiting to get for the stuff to lift up so I can get back to. I had started getting booked for like some speaking engagements and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, like, you know, that's honestly, that's the thing where I'm really trying to move to.
Really?
Like,
Okay.
I want just, I mean, not saying like I don't want to do music. That's I got to do on the stage.
Of course,
but I really want to. I want to get heavy on speaking engagements. You know what I'm saying?
That's good. Your message is powerful, and it definitely will help people. You know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Man. Thank you for coming on today.
Appreciate
you're an inspiration.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. I got more out of this than I expected, honestly.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Because I thought, you know, I know you had worked with Travis, or I know y'all worked together. So I was thinking more on the music side. And then he mentioned to me you had a book, and I told him I wanted to read it before we talked to you, but the turnaround time was so fast. I didn't get a chance. I think it was 2 days ago.
Yeah. I hit you up like a day ago. Yeah.
So I didn't even get a chance. So I was trying to skim through it before we talked, and then after, you know, hearing your story and stuff, I'm very intrigued to dive into the book.
Thank you.
Learn some more, but that bit you just gave us, man, is important, because it's a lot of people that go through these type of situations that don't know how to deal with them, don't believe they have an outlet, and you know, like you said, talking to therapists, I've heard that for years. That's crazy. That's certain. You shouldn't. But now you talk to somebody, you find a creative way or any outlet for yourself to help you balance what you have going on and get you back on track or reset or whatnot. So,
and the dope thing about the book is it's also like a self-help joint. So like,
you got the questions in there. I noticed that. So that's pretty, that's solid right there. So I really am appreciative of you coming on.
Yeah. I wanted with that joint, I wanted people to, because one of the things that I make sure that I do every day, I have to speak well over myself. And that's how I keep myself in the space that I'm in, is making the decision. So I wanted people to have questions in front of them that you can answer yourself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what am I doing? What is my why? Why am I doing this? Why do I allow people to, or whatever the questions is in the book? I ain't looked at all of them. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you have to ask yourself questions and answer them truthfully about yourself. You
So
know what I'm
that's
saying?
so similar to what I did. So when I did my my self-help experience, after I did my went on my journey and did my thing, one of the things I was advised to do was record how I feel, how it made me feel after going through it. So anytime I get to a point where I might be down or I need a pick me up or need to remind myself, I go back to my recording to go back to that moment in time of what helped me release whatever was holding me back to get me back to where I need to be.
And so with those recordings, was it like, were they positive thoughts and messages? That's dope.
Yeah.
So what do you do, Wes? Like you say you do that every day. Do you get up and like say 3 things you're grateful for? Do you write it down?
Man, I literally just speak well over myself and everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, you know, you wait. Some people haven't heard the I believe in you. You could do it. I look myself in the mirror today. You got this. It's gonna be a great day.
Mm-hmm.
I got faith in you. Anything that come your way, we gonna get through it. A lot of those videos that I be doing on IG, that's literally me talking to myself. The way I set the camera up, I'm looking at myself. Right. So a lot of times when you be seeing me in the videos and I start getting here with it, it's literally because I'm pushing myself. Like the joint, like I told myself, I was like, man, I gotta get back in shape. And so I did a video not necessarily the Saturday before, when I was like, yo, you gotta get up. Like, you talking all this nonsense, talking about you want to be this, you want to be that, but you just sitting down. And people was like, oh man, you know, you talking to me. Now, I mean, that's cool, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to myself. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, you're not going to always have somebody in your ear all the time. It's going to be times when you're there alone. So what you going to do when you by yourself?
Right.
You got to motivate you. You got to talk to you. You got to speak well over you. You might not hear you're doing a great job every single day. I don't hear, man, oh, you're an awesome father every day, but I make sure I go out here and bust my tail to make sure that my kids know I'm a great, that I'm in their life, that I'm doing whatever, that I got them all. You feel what I'm saying? You have to do it yourself. So that's my thing. So that's why I say when I wake up in the morning and I wake up myself, I'm speaking well over whatever I'm doing is going to work. Whatever I know I got coming up, this going to work. This is going to happen. You know, like new book coming out. My thing is, my goal is, man, I'm going to sell 1,000 copies in the first month. So every day I wake up, I pray over it, speak well over it. I know my goals, what I want to accomplish, I speak it into existence. Like, I'm putting it out there myself. Yo, I don't care if it ain't not one person in my corner pushing me. I'm going to push myself. I'm going to make it happen. Period. Yeah.
You know I like that. How you said, you know, you're not always going to have somebody in your ears, like what you're going to do when it's just you. Reminding me of this dude. I'm going to send it to both of y'all. There's podcasts and there's like a couple of books. This dude named David Goggins. I don't know if you heard of him, but he was a Navy SEAL, and now he's like an ultra marathon runner and just a badass, man. But his mental game is like, pause. His mental game is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
I'm 30 years old. I'm not.
I know that was for I got one of my friends. One of my boys listen to this joint, Wes, and he's the pause police. So I got.
Oh, okay.
But you know, he don't even work. This dude David Goggins, he don't even work out with music because he's like, that's cheating. What you gonna do when it's just you in the trenches? You know, like, and just hearing his mentality on stuff is, I think both of y'all would appreciate.
Shoot me that joint, please.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, shoot me that joint.
Well, thank you, man. You are an inspiration, motivation. Can't wait to get back on stage with you.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be soon.
Yeah.
If everything let up, we already got a date right now for August. I just ain't put it out there yet. So we're just gonna see how everything plays. I'll be talking to you about that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we got some other stuff to get to work on. So I'll be in touch with you shortly, man. But Appreciate you, bro. This was
Thank
dope.
you.
Hey, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you for having me.
All right, Wes.
All right,
Okay,
man.
Hog.
All right, bro. Peace.